Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market News and Views by In the Money Stocks. Today is Friday, April 4th, 2014. Thank you all for tuning in. We are awaiting the non-farm payroll report by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That will be out in about 1 minute time, and we'll just wait and see how that plays out. But this is a highly anticipated job number. If you ask me, if the number right now, I think the consensus is that economists are looking for about 200,000, 190 to 200,000 jobs created. If the number is good, I suspect the market will rally. If the number is bad, we may see a little bit of downticking, but ultimately today is a Friday. Rarely do we see a big Friday sell-off, so we'll have to watch that as well. If you take a look at the dollar-yen chart, the dollar-yen chart is surging ahead of this job number, so many people, I guess, are expecting a very good number, and we'll see how that plays out. But generally, when the dollar-yen moves up, the market moves up, and we'll see how it is. All right, the number is released. Wow, take a look at the futures. They're starting to come back in, but look at the dollar-yen. Dollar-yen just got plummeted here. So it took that big move up, and now it's coming right back down. Let's see where this thing settles out. It looks like the March non-farm payroll report is reporting 192,000 jobs. That's right in line with estimates. Okay, so if you go back to the futures here, you'll see the futures are ticking up a little bit, about 6 points. I guess the market likes it so far. I don't know if this is a great number or a bad number, maybe the perfect number for the market. But again, watch the dollar-yen today. This is going to be very important. Dollar-yen, if the dollar-yen starts to retreat and goes into sell mode, it's very difficult for these markets to stay up. Now today the markets may hold up because they may have euphoria in there thinking that the job report is so great and wonderful, but the reality of it is that the dollar-yen is really where the liquidity is coming from. When the dollar-yen moves up, there's liquidity in the market. Dollar-yen moves down, liquidity comes out of the market. And that's something that everybody should follow going forward. Right now, the futures are trading higher by about 7 points this morning. So any way you slice it or dice it, it's a decent little pop. It's nothing earth-shattering or dramatic, and we'll see how high the market does go. This is a rally, though, that could fade. And ultimately on a Friday, we do expect the market to basically be flat to slightly higher. So we'll see if that is the case today. Let's take a look at some stocks in the news, and then we'll come back and look at the futures before we sign off from this recording. But we're going to go into Micron Technologies here. Micron reported earnings, I believe. So nonetheless, the stock closed yesterday at $24. It's trading at $24.90. Believe it or not, it has upside to around $25.70. So once it gets there, I think this would be a big level right around the $25.70 area, where the stock will probably stall out. So again, right now the stock's holding up fine. Max upside, I think today would be $25.70. I have a hard time thinking that this is going to get much above that level. So we'll see how that plays out. But nonetheless, Micron's holding up pretty well today. Another one in the news today is CarMax. Okay, so CarMax stock closed at $47.56. It is now trading at $46. It did trickle down to $45 here in the pre-market. Now it's back up to $46. I will have some gap levels if we go a little bit lower than this. They'll be posted up in the chat room around 9 o'clock in the morning. But the one thing I will say off the bat, we'll see if this can break 44.50. If it can break 44.50, I do have some pretty good gap levels where we could trade this stock for some intraday bounces. So again, we'll look to scalp CarMax today in the intraday stock chat. That'll be posted up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see how that all shakes out and plays out. Let's take a look at MYL here, which is Mylan. I think Mylan is about to make an acquisition, or they did make an acquisition. Either way, the stock closed at $49.86. It's trading at $55.45. So the market must like what they're doing. I'm not sure how high this is going to trade. I guess it's back in an uptrend, so it can trade back up towards the old highs, which were just underneath $58. I don't see a great level here, but I will say this. If Mylan sells off, watch the $47 level. I know it's much higher, but anytime a company makes an acquisition, normally they're going to fall, not go up. So watch the $47 level for Mylan. It might even be $46.50, but right around that area, that's going to be pretty good intraday support for Mylan. So keep that on the radar. I don't know if it gets down there, but if it does, that would be your scalp level. And remember, a scalp play is nothing more than a quick day trade, usually lasting between 10 and 30 minutes. So that's what we're seeing there. Let's take a look over at the gold market now. What you're going to see here is gold is soaring. Gold is up $16. Make that $15.60 at the moment to $1,300 an ounce. Take a look at the GLD here. You can see a big spike in the GLD. So the GLD caught a pretty good bid, trading right now at $125.22. We'll see if that can hold up or last. Generally, GLD will go higher when the dollar-yen chart goes lower. And what you're going to see here is that the dollar-yen, even though it had that big initial sell-off, it's moving back up, and that's going to help the market, now trading above 104 on dollar-yen. Gold has really not come down much, but it is pulling back off the highs a little bit. So decent pop for gold here in the market. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing shakes out today. But again, the dollar-yen, in my opinion, is going to be the most important chart. If dollar-yen sells off, watch for gold to catch a bid today. So keep that on the radar. We're going to take a look at light sweet crude today. Light sweet crude is trading higher by 83 cents to 101.11 a barrel. So gold is, oil is solidly above the $100 level. Let's take a look at the USO, which is a good proxy for trading light sweet crude. And what you'll see here is that the USO is now trading at $36.48, closed at $36.14. So it's a decent pop back up. There's a little minor resistance here around $36.50, but oil is holding up pretty well today, and I think everybody should respect it, at least in the near term. There's really not a clean-cut pattern one way or the other. The only level I'm seeing for the USO is if it gets down to $34.90, there will be good support there for an intraday bounce. Right now, I am not seeing that, so we'll watch this one closely. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll see where it goes. Let's take a look at the futures once again, the S&P 500 E-minis, and you're going to see that they are pulling back just a little bit, but nonetheless, they're still up 7.5 points. If the dollar-yen continues to go higher, that's going to support stock price. If the dollar-yen starts to pull back again, now right now the dollar-yen's come right back up. The dollar-yen starts to pull back, prices in the S&P should deflate. So it's going to be a wait-and-see type game. We'll see how this all plays out by the end of the trading day. And again, it is a Friday, so generally on Fridays we look for a flat to slightly positive session. Sometimes there could be a big rally, but rarely is there a big decline. So we'll see what this market gives us, but nonetheless, dollar-yen is making a move higher, and that should help equity prices, at least in the near term. If the dollar-yen starts to pull back and retreat, then I think we will see the stock market pull back and retreat. The one thing I will say is, you see how the dollar-yen is moving up? Keep an eye on the gold market, because gold will come back down. You can see how gold started to deflate as the dollar-yen got stronger. So when dollar-yen sold off, gold caught that big surge. And again, in order for gold to go up, you're going to need to see dollar-yen go down. So that's the relationship that's in place. Dollar-yen is really the key to the entire global market, if you ask me. Even though this doesn't get publicized on television, I'm telling you about it right here, right now. So with that said, everybody, I'm going to leave it here short and sweet. Have a great trading day. We'll see you on the charts.